did want to take a little time and talk about some turkey calling, because we get asked a lot of questions about turkey calls, turkey calling, really just turkey tips in general, because obviously turkey hunting is something that if you dabble into it, it becomes a passion. I mean, it just is something you can easily become obsessed with, and I know it bit me at a young age, but I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Anytime you get a new turkey call, like this particular call, this new Magician, I just run it a few times, but when you put it in your mouth, you know, you want it to be comfortable, and you want a good seal, and you want the reeds that have that's shorter than the others, the shorter reeds on the bottom, so your tongue goes against those. A good seal in the roof of your mouth. And for instance, everybody's mouth is adjusted different, or bigger than others, your palate, and so you can bend these frames to adjust. I like to keep them exactly where they are, because the call manufacturer, in this case made over in Alabama, you know, it's better, and they stretch specifically to this standard frame. So you get your mouth making any kind of noise, If it's tickling your tongue and it's real ticklish, then you don't have it in your mouth correctly, or you're not putting enough air between the tongue and the call. So you definitely want to get that. When you're running it properly and making noises properly, even if they're not turkey noises, it will not be ticklish. It'll be just like talking, like I'm talking to you now. But anyway, the first call sound I want to try to get out of a call is a key note. Almost like a cow call. You know, but if I can get that high end, I typically can get the low end to come with the rasp built in this call. But you see how that runs together? All those turkeys start with that key note. The old box call, or the friction call, say a pot call. Yeah. When you're clucking or cutting, it's basically that same yelp, except it's reduced into a short burst. Some people use their lips. I prefer to more use just the thrust of air. Depending on the situation. I know a lot of my turkey calling buddies, when they yelp, they would really roll their jaw, almost like a singer. So once again, I always call a turkey call. It's more than a call, it's a musical instrument. The calls that I think are the most important are soft yelps. You can go those soft yelps into more aggressive yelps. A lot of time again to build up to it. I would say volume control and going from soft to aggressive, if that's what you want to call it, or louder, is important to find in the diaphragm. If you get those tones and you can control that, it don't have to sound perfect. My opinion on turkey calling, rhythm is more important than specifically the sound of it. What I mean by the sound, some people don't have that perfect high end and that kind of that Matt Van Syce to where it sounds so realistic. obviously we all yearn for that sound. I can't call that good. I'm not near as good as those guys. The David Owens, Matt Van Sice, those guys are so phenomenal. I mean, so many of my buddies out there, they are just crazy good callers. But if you can get that key and you can get that rollover note, that yuck, and you can learn to control it, and you can use those same notes soft, then you can get aggressive to entice a little more excitement or more yearning and get that gobbler fired up. And calling is just one factor in turkey hunting. I mean, Preston Pittman always said that, you know, turkey calling is something you really don't do in the woods. You go turkey hunting, and sometimes you'll use a turkey call to be successful. And I think that stands true. I mean, when I'm hunting different places, you know, when I'm here and I hear a turkey gobble, it takes on a different complexity than if I'm on a piece of public ground, or if I'm on a different place that I'm hunting, maybe a friend of mine's property, because I don't know as much about the property. I don't know where all the fences are. I don't know where the washes are. Here, man, anytime you own a piece of property, you know, whether it's 100 acres or 5,000 acres, typically you have spent a lot of time on it. One of the funnest things you can do is walk in property and get to know it. Not just through a map, but I'm talking about boots on the ground. So this particular place that I hunt here in Georgia, man, I feel like I know every rock. I truly don't, but I know the habitat. I know when a turkey gobbles, what's in between me and him. I know if there's a creek in between him and I. I know if I'm on the high spot and he's got to go down to a low spot to get back to me, to my high spot. So I might immediately know that with my call, I need to get around. Even though I feel like I'm on high ground, I know enough to know that this turkey's going to have to come down a ridge and come back up a ridge to get to me. I might decide to go and make an aggressive move and get all the way around and get parallel him on that same ridge. So it's subtle things like that help kill turkeys. One thing I've already noticed in our trip to South Florida is, and I've already noticed based on my scouting here in Georgia, we had a phenomenal hatch in Georgia this past year where I'm at. I'm seeing droves of jakes up to 5. I saw one drove of 8 jakes back here in the back, and I think it was 8 or 9 in a clover field. I got a picture of them. They're just standing out there grazing on clover. It's pretty cool, my wife and I. And so anytime you see a lot of jakes, just a good rule of thumb, you can go ahead and rule out that decoys are not going to be very effective. There's a lot of people that tell you that decoys are cheating, and they'll say that it immediately entices a gobbler to come immediately and their fight mode comes on. That can be the case. It's no different than obviously using aggressive and sexual hen calls. When they're wanting to breed and they're alone, a lot of times they will go inside out and they're coming to the sound. So decoys are just another visual response. But a lot of times if they see what they think they see, it can go against you. In the case where you got a good hatch and you got a lot of jakes, even those dominant turkeys get very nervous of the social structure. You always liken it to the mall studs. You can sit around and think you're pretty cool and nice looking. You walk around, it's like the mall studs hanging out at the Dippin' Dots when you're a teenager, and then they flexing on you. Every time you come up, they run you off. That ain't really the best analogy, but if you think about it, what does one lone gobbler, even though he's a mature turkey, maybe a big old 4-year-old turkey, what can they really do against, you know, 8 to 10 jakes? And if those jakes have the right attitude, they will take over a flock of hens. I've seen it happen, and they will at least get things rolling to the point to where these big gobblers become call shy. I've even seen it in Texas where you have 20 jakes chasing 2 longbeards around. I mean, chasing them around like they're playing tag. So it's important to know that even though you think rule of thumb, certain things happen, whether you call, whether you're using decoys, no matter how you're hunting, everything changes with that year and that circumstance. It even changes within that year with the different stages. The jakes that were dominant to this group of gobblers or longbeards or one longbeard, certain situation can happen and that longbeard just bow up and beat the tar out of a couple of them jakes. He's got the flop back. He's back dominant. Now you're back in a situation that his confidence back. Maybe that jake decoy changes the game out in an open field. Prior to that, you could have that turkey coming in on a string to a call, have him dead, and because you decided to cheat, according to some people, set a jake decoy out there, that turkey stops at about 70, 80 yards, tucks his wing, and walks out. I've seen them turn around and run out, and people say, oh, they're decoy shy. No, they're not decoy shy. They're not smart enough to know that's a decoy. You're talking his whole brain is the size of that right there, not big as a golf ball. No, they saw a turkey. It's a decoy, but they're realistic nowadays. He saw what he was afraid of, another gobbler in his terrain. He left. He didn't want to have to fight again. So be careful And pay attention when you're scouting. How many jakes do you have? How many 2-year-olds? You got wads of 2-year-olds. So you find the situations that could really sync up to decoy use. You can bring the situation that syncs it up to just soft calling. You might have a lot of hens. The hens are gobbled up. The hens are really got the flocks of turkeys by the time you get a chance to legally start hunting. What you'll find is you better call, but you better call subtle. You better be a girl's girl. You better start calling and working these hens, because these hens are not wanting a bunch of racket. They're not wanting a bunch of stuff. Keep in mind, none of these turkeys know you. I don't care if you're Matt Van Sice and you're that good a caller. Yes, you talk good, but just because you walk in and there's Celine Dion singing in your home, and you got a couple daughters, you got a wife, you got a grandmother, or maybe you got your mother-in-law that lives in the home with you, well, Celine Dion can be over there singing the song from Titanic. It's beautiful, but you're thinking, who is this? Who is this? What a great voice. But who is this in my home? I'm uncomfortable. So many people get so dialed into what they think, but you got to think of the subtle things. These hens and these gobblers live with each other all year long. Well, they do separate out, but they know each other. The social structure is insane. So there's nothing I can do to sum it up in this YouTube video, but what I can tell you is, as you get good and as experienced turkey hunter, you'll start realizing that there's nothing that's foolproof. Think about this. If anything was foolproof, you would never see a field turkey. Ever. If decoys were 100% successful in tripping that trigger, you would never see a field turkey. If calling a turkey in always worked, you would always kill them every time. They're always going to win, but you start finding different ways that you can use based on the social structure, based on the situation of the flock, at the timing of that morning or that day you get to hunt. And there's so many things out there that can help you be successful. At the end, you're only going to get so many turkey tags. You're only going to get so many opportunities. Most of us in this case, we have a chance to, kill 1 turkey or 2 turkeys, say in a state. Most of us only get 1 of those turkeys, and then sometimes people and hunters get confused with hunters versus poachers. Look, just like in any situation, we got liabilities and we got assets, but those people are hunting turkeys by legal means. They're assets. They're the ones that give back. So in the end, what I will tell you is go hunt, have fun, pay attention to these subtle, simple things, the social structure, and I promise you, you'll be successful. We just had good luck in Florida. Saw a lot of jakes down there. And right now we're in a situation that we're getting ready to partake in a lot of hunts where we're doing a lot of guiding. We're taking a lot of kids hunting. We're taking a lot of different celebrities that's never hunted. We're taking a lot of people that bought hunts off auctions. We're taking a lot of people that they have an opportunity to give back and an opportunity to buy a hunt. So we are so excited about the season, excited about y'all. Please share your success. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. We got a lot more coming at you this spring. We're going to have a lot of the uploads of the Can't Stop the Flop that's already starting on My Outdoor TV. MOTV. Download that app and check it out. Stay tuned here. We'll let you know all the latest happens on Bone Collector and Can't Stop the Flop. Love you guys. Happy hunting. Happy spring. Let's go, baby. Let's go.